One of the most common questions I get from property investors is this: how quickly can you actually get bridging finance? Because in a lot of cases, the opportunity is there, the property is available, but the seller wants to move quickly and you need funding in place fast. So in this video, I want to walk you through exactly how the bridging finance process works from the start to the finish. More importantly, I'll explain how deals can often be completed far quicker than traditional mortgages if the process is handled properly. If you're buying property, refinancing, or funding a refurbishment project, understanding this process can make the difference between securing a deal or missing the opportunity entirely. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Ian Henderson. I'm the co-founder and director of Futurity Finance. And essentially, we arrange commercial finance across the UK. And this is including property finance, business finance, asset finance, and vehicle funding. And bridging, is something we arrange regular for property investors and developers. So today I want to take you behind the scenes and explain how bridging loans actually come together from the first conversation right through to completion. The three stages of bridging finance. Now, if you've ever taken out a mortgage before, this process will feel quite familiar. Whether it's a mortgage or bridging finance, the journey normally breaks down into three main stages. The first stage is the application and underwriting process. The second stage is the valuation of the property. And the third stage is the legal process. Where bridging finance becomes really powerful is the speed and flexibility within these stages. So let's walk through each one. Stage one is the application, and everything starts with a conversation. And at Futurity Finance, we begin by understanding the deal itself. We'll look at the property you're purchasing, the purchase price, whether any works are planned, and how the project fits together. But most importantly, we'll focus on the exit strategy. In bridging finance, the lender always wants to understand how they're going to get their money back. That might be by refinancing onto a buy-to-let mortgage once the property is complete, selling the property after the renovation, or refinancing onto a longer-term finance once a project is stabilized. Once we understand the deal, we prepare what's called a funding proposal. And this is essentially a summary of the deal that we're going to present to suitable lenders across the market. From there, the lender reviews the proposal and comes back with what is called credit-back terms. And you can think of this as the bridging equivalent of a decision in principle. Now, something worth mentioning here is that the cheapest lender is not always the best lender when it comes to bridging finance. Often, the right lender is the one who understands the deal, has experience with this type of project, and most importantly, can actually move quickly when the deal requires it. Once the lender has been selected, we move forward with a formal application. And that involves submitting the lender's application along with supporting documentation such as ID, proof of address, credit information, and evidence of the funds you're putting into the deal. At Futurity Finance, we help clients package all of this together and submit it to the lender's underwriting team. Once the underwriter reviews the information and is comfortable with the deal, we move on to the next stage. Stage two, the valuation. And the next step, is the valuation of the property. Just like with a mortgage, the lender instructs an independent surveyor to assess the property. However, bridging valuations tend to be a little bit more detailed, and that's because bridging loans are often used on properties that may not currently qualify for a traditional mortgage. For example, the property might need refurbishment, structural works, or it simply may not be in a condition that a standard mortgage lender wouldn't accept just yet. Because of that, the surveyor will normally assess three different values. The first is the current open market value of the property. The second is the 180-day value, which estimates what the property might achieve if it needed to be sold within 6 months. And the third is the 90-day value, which reflects what it might achieve if it had to be sold even more quickly. In many cases, bridging lenders will base their lending on the 180-day valuation. So that's something investors always need to be aware of. And if the project involves refurbishment or development, the surveyor will also look at the future value of the property once the works are completed. This is important because the lender wants to make sure the property will support their exit strategy, particularly if the plan is to refinance onto a longer-term mortgage. Once the valuation comes back and everything stacks up, the lender will issue the formal loan offer, Stage three, the legal process. And at this point, the deal moves into the legal stage, And your solicitor and the lender solicitor will begin working through the legal documentation. This includes reviewing the loan agreement, carrying out property searches, raising inquiries with the seller, and arranging signatures on the loan documents. If the borrowing is being done through a limited company, there will usually also be a personal guarantee required from the directors. Once everything is in place, your solicitor will issue what's called a certificate of title. And this essentially confirms to the lender that everything has been checked and the deal is ready to be completed. The lender can then release the funds, which are then transferred to your solicitor so the purchase or refinance can be completed. Why bridging finance can move quickly. Now, this is where bridging finance becomes particularly powerful, So with a standard mortgage, the process tends to happen one step at a time. You complete the application, then the valuation takes place, and then the legal works begins. Bridging finance is much more flexible. In many cases, we can actually run these stages at the same time rather than one after the other. For example, once the application is submitted, we can often instruct the valuation immediately and start the legal process at the same time. That means solicitors can already be working through inquiries while the valuation and underwriting are still progressing. By the time the formal loan offer is issued, a large part of the legal work may already be completed. Another delay in many property transactions is the local authority searches, which can sometimes take around 30 days. However, bridging lenders will often allow something called search indemnity assurance, which allows a deal to complete before those searches are actually returned. When the process is structured properly and everyone involved understands bridging finance, deals can sometimes complete within a matter of days rather than months. So that's a simple overview of bridging finance process from start to finish. Understanding how the process works and working with the right team can make a huge difference in how quickly deals come together. If you're working on a property deal and thinking bridging finance might be the right solution for you, feel free to reach out. At Futurity Finance, we arrange funding across the whole market and we're always happy to talk through a deal and explore the options available. You can message me directly, book a call, or visit our website to learn more about how we can support property investors and developers. And if you found this video useful, make sure to subscribe, like, and follow because I'll be sharing more insight on property finance, structuring deals, and how investors use finance to move faster and grow their portfolios.